suggesting...
Dummies! Dummies!
Excuse me. Listen, quiet.
Hello and welcome to the second entry of my film journal, where I record my experience watching your favorite movie. I'm Frankie, and today I'll be going shopping with Dawn of the Dead. In 1968, George A. Romero changed the horror landscape forever at Echo. His independent movie Night of the Living Dead showed a group of people trapped in a farmhouse while under attack by reanimated corpses. Audiences were so shocked by the extreme violence in the movie, but also probably because until then horror movies weren't really considered works that needed serious discussion. But this movie also critiqued American society in the 60s and domestic racism, so it generated a little bit of discussion. So this movie really revolutionized audiences' understanding of the living dead, and of course it really shocked people because of its subject matter. So that combination led to it being one of the most well-known cult classic horror movies until today. It was very, very important for the horror genre. But today I'm actually not gonna dive into this movie, but I'm gonna talk about Romero's comeback to the Living Dead genre 10 years later. Because of the massive impact that Night of the Living Dead had, Romero waited for quite a while before returning to the Living Dead, and this time he also teamed up with renowned giallo director Dario Argento. The fans of that genre might have heard of him. He teamed up with Dario Argento as well as his production team in order to make Dawn of the Dead, a horror movie about zombies and consumerism. Dun, dun, dun. One of the scariest combinations in my opinion. Dawn of the Dead starts with the startling waking of Fran Parker, a TV news station producer, in the middle of a chaotic workday. A mysterious illness is causing the bodies of the recently dead to come back to life all across the United States, and the future of society remains unclear as everyone has a different idea of what should be aired during the public health crisis. I wonder why this feels so familiar. I would not want to be first AD on this set. That sounds so bad. And also the zombies, but you know, like... We meet Stephen Andrews, the TV station's traffic reporter, who tells Fran to meet him on the roof so they can flee together using the station's helicopter. Also, I'm not sure if this will come up later, but this guy really reminds me of Hugh Laurie when he was doing that sketch show with Stephen Fry, a bit of Fry and Laurie. Does anyone remember that? I don't know. I don't think I'll mention the Hugh Laurie thing again at all during this little video. So I'm just saying now, he just reminds me of Hugh Laurie, and we'll leave it here, and that's all we're gonna talk about it. So let's move on. Across town though, there's this police SWAT team, and you might notice, or you might not notice, but a lot of them are really racist. I don't even know what to say. That's a character. That is a character. Oh no. But yeah, they're surrounding this like low income housing project where most of the residents are Latino and Black, and they're surrounding it because the residents are refusing to hand over their dead to the police, which is just it's a situation. It's a situation. Obviously, because the SWAT team's there, chaos ensues. One of the newbie cops immediately gets shot, as well as some locals, and as SWAT do, they gas the building, and they go in because in order to get the dead, they have to maybe they need to shoot a few shots, at people. That's how it works. We haven't even seen the zombies yet. This is just people. This is just living people shooting at one another. Where's the zombie? We don't even need the zombie to destroy ourselves. Oh my god. So there's this one really racist cop who he just completely goes off the rails. He's just shooting innocent people. He ultimately, like, he just gets shot himself, but only after we get introduced to one of our main characters, Roger, who tries to kind of stop him. He tries to stop him. I guess. So much happened. I'm not sure I processed everything. Yeah, that guy's head just blew right off. Just normal stuff. These scenes are really gruesome and disturbing. Maybe if you don't like gore, you might want to not watch this movie, honestly. It's not too bad because it's kind of older, but it's pretty gross and very not good, especially the scene. And one cop, even he unalives himself because he's just like, I'm out. Roger's also like, this is too much, so he goes to hide in the cellar for a second, but there he meets Peter, he's just like another SWAT officer or whatever, and they start talking, and they're like, actually, this sucks. Do you want to leave? Do you want to get out of here? I know a guy with a helicopter. Before they can decide to do anything, there's this random preacher who urges... What did I write here? They meet the cellar preacher who urges the necessity to stop the killing, but naturally this is not a popular opinion in a country like the States. Peter and Roger then, they still have a job to do, so they find the place where all the dead have been kept, who, you know, now are kind of living. Peter just goes and does the dirty work of shooting them one by one with the support of Roger, because #bonding. Teamwork makes the zombie apocalypse a little easier for you. This is also when the military arrives. Another normal thing to send to a low-income housing unit. But I guess, okay, like there were zombies, so I guess that's what you do. Meanwhile, Fran and Steven have taken off with the stolen helicopter, and they found some like police dock or something. They were looking for fuel for the helicopter because, you know, can't really fly too far unless you have fuel. As Steven's looking around there, it does turn out that everyone there is already not amongst us anymore. Some looters who are dressed up in cop gear hold them at gunpoint and discuss whether they should steal the stolen helicopter. Luckily, this is when Roger and Peter show up as well, and everyone's like, let's just go our own ways. It feels like we have enough problems. We don't need to shoot anyone. Well done, guys. Who knew that problem solving without guns is possible? We didn't know. But see, script writing, it is possible. So they start flying off in the helicopter, and the whole gang has this sharing session where they talk about who they're leaving behind in the process of escaping. And he's Hugh Laurie. He's 100% Hugh Laurie. Hugh Laurie somehow went back in time when he was doing a bit of Fry and Laurie, and he did this too. And no one noticed until I came along. The flight is long. Everyone is sleepy AF. And they also start to run low on fuel. So in the morning light, they are still in the helicopter, and they look down and they see the extent of the social collapse that the living dead have caused, and they decide that basically like it's better to stay away from very like populated areas because chances are there are more zombies there looking for food. On land, we also see that there's a group of military soldiers, and who I'm assuming are hunters because they're wearing plaid. Is that like, I guess there's just dudes with guns who hunt. I don't know. There's dudes with guns in plaid, Anyway, they're having like a little get together, some barbecue, some beer. We're having a good time, and if we see a zombie, then we're just gonna shoot it with our guns while drinking beer, because there's no way any accidents can happen like that.
There's nothing quite like a cold beer after a head injury.
The gang finds a mostly empty fuel pump while checking out the facilities around it, and they almost get surrounded by our blue-faced hungry dudes. So Steven gets tackled by a zombie, and there's like a hammer just inches away from him, but he's being tackled by a zombie, so he can't get it. And Fran, literally, she just stands there and does nothing. She just watches while another zombie really slowly approaches. Steven just getting tackled. There's the hammer, and she just watches. Honestly, this character choice like just doesn't really make any sense for me, because like in the beginning of the movie, she was this kind of assertive producer, and the moment they leave the TV studio, I guess, she just like can't do anything.
Oh my god. Okay. I was thinking about that head before, and I see now why.
Steven tries to shoot a zombie, but he's just a really bad shot, and he can't get the brain.
Hugh Laurie just isn't a great shot, it seems. Just wasting bullets.
So Roger jumps in and saves his butt, really. Just as Peter has eliminated 2 child zombies. Yes, kids can do anything they put their mind to. Anyway, there were 2 child zombies, and Peter takes care of them. Because he's doing that, then he doesn't notice that another zombie has crept up on him. But Steven sees this guy, and he's trying to save Peter, but like we mentioned before, he's a terrible shot, so he kind of like aims at the living dead, but Peter's kind of in the way. So finally Roger again jumps in and saves the day, so they can manage to get away in the helicopter again.
I have a feeling these 2 wouldn't survive long on their own.
Obviously, like, Peter's salty about Steven's like fuck-uppery, because why do you point a gun at a person? Not cool. Soon the gang comes across a seemingly deserted shopping center, and low on fuel, decide to land on the roof. They realize that the lot is filled with zombies and that they are unable to reach them on the roof. Steven hypothesizes. He's using his brain. He thinks that the zombies have an instinct to return to the mall, as it was an important place in their lives, and understands that it's also important to them, as there's still water in the building, there's electricity, and basically any other resources that they would need to survive. They break into some private utility rooms through a skylight and decide to hang out there for a while until they've gotten some rest, because they've been on this helicopter for a while. The peace doesn't last long though, as Roger and Peter have a great idea. They're like, let's go scope up the rest of the mall. So yeah, Peter's asleep. They leave Fran in charge with a gun, turning up the music in the whole mall in order to disguise any sounds that they make. They make a run for it through zombies, indulging in their consumer instincts in order to access the convenience store, and almost get surrounded. I'm experiencing some technical difficulties right now. So the dynamic duo, they locate a master key set and maps of the whole mall, as well as walkie-talkies that might come in handy. Meanwhile, Fran wakes up Steven because she's obviously disturbed by this whole situation, and Steven's like, those crazy bastards, and then he immediately goes and joins them. Roger and Peter have been having fun shopping for supplies, and they distract the zombies so that they can get a clean getaway back to where their hiding spot is. Steven finds a book with the mall's layout, as well as a gun, And surprise, surprise, a zombie finds him. As we've already established, Steven's like a bad shot, so he runs out of bullets before he manages to shoot the zombie in the head, and he needs to reload. There's no other way. He might, maybe, is he gonna get eaten? We don't know.
I have a feeling Hugh Laurie isn't gonna survive this. Am I right?
Happy accidents do happen. He narrowly escapes and he finds Peter, but they both kind of get surrounded by these zombies as they're trying to get all the supplies back into their hiding place. And you know what? You might be wondering, these three guys are out there having the time of their life, killing some zombies, almost being killed themselves. What's Fran been doing this entire time? She's just waiting. She's chilling. She's just waiting. She's just waiting. She ain't doing anything. That's what she's doing. I also love doing nothing, so queen. So they head back to the department store in an effort to lead the zombies away from their hiding spot, because obviously they don't want the zombies to know where they are. Roger, again, has a wee wrestling match. Seems like it happens a lot with this guy, but he wins the wrestling match by sticking what I'm assuming was a screwdriver in the ear of the guy he's wrestling. Totally normal stuff. Basically, the guys, they get real cocky at this point. They're just like, we're so smart. We're able to fool the zombies, and we've created so many diversions, and we're gonna create another one. Yeah, as they're waiting for a good time to escape, they discuss that it may be a good idea to set up camp in the mall because of, all the stuff. There's all the stuff we might need here, and there's zombies and creatures and ghouls out there, so let's stay here. So while the guys have been out on their little adventure fooling zombies, a zombie monk has located Fran. He was just like, I'm using my third eye. Beep, 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 beep. There's someone there. And yeah, she tries to barricade the door, but she can't really do it. And then she uses an emergency flare to scare the zombie. Look, fire. Oh, wow. Scary. And it just isn't really working very well. And she's just kind of climbing on boxes, trying to get away from the zombie. But she just doesn't do anything. Yeah, I guess that was the paragraph. I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to talk shit on Fran. But she does learn to ride a helicopter, so she does something. But that was a spoiler. We'll get there. Luckily, though, the guys arrive in time and they eliminate the zombie monk and they save Fran. Yes, Fran is saved. No thanks to herself. So yeah, Roger and Peter, they grab the supplies they got from the department store, and Steven's like comforting Fran, and he's just like, you should see all the stuff down there. It's great here. There's so much stuff. We should stay here because, there's stuff here. And Fran's just been attacked by a zombie, so Fran's just dissociating and questioning her life's decisions. So okay, everything's good. No one's been eaten. They're in their hiding spot. They hook up a portable TV and they sit down for some snacks. See, we really are no different than people from the 70s. By this time, Steven's ego has really been inflated by his survival skills, and he's just like, how come people just don't organize? Look at what we were able to do. We took over this entire mall. Just the three of us.
They never even touched us.
Sir, do you remember how many times you almost died today? Huh? What about it, Hugh Laurie? What about it? Just casual though, Steven also reveals that Fran's pregnant, so
You really know it was the 70s if you're pregnant and smoking.
obviously this sparks a conversation about the future for the gang. They're just like, what should we do? The world is ending. What do we do? And Fran's the only one who's like, I think we should grab what we can and we should fly to Canada. The zombies, they can't cross the border to Canada. That's how it works. But Steven's like, no, we should stay put. Do you remember all the stuff? Do you remember all the stuff that's down there? We should stay here. The stuff is here. There's no stuff in Canada. She highlights, though, how Steven's judgment is clouded by access to material things.
It's so bright and neatly wrapped, you don't see that it's a prison, too.
Which, you know, good for her. At least, you know, she's not, like, doing anything, but she has some points. The next morning, as an emergency broadcast is giving an overview of what is known of the zombies.
These creatures are nothing but pure, motorized instinct.
Fran says she wants to learn to fly the helicopter and use a gun, and the guys head out with a plan to block the doors of the mall with some trucks that I don't know, I guess they steal from nearby, and they want to use the trucks so that the zombies can't get into the mall. So pretty solid idea. This plan almost goes well, but Roger gets into what I would call cowboy mode. Yeah, he gets a little too cocky, so he doesn't notice some zombies creep up at him from behind. Peter does come to the rescue, and Roger's definitely coping really well with the shock.
Teens see it crazy for sure, but I guess it's fair under the circumstances.
As they block an entrance, they're surrounded by the living dead again, and this time the guys escape thanks to Fran also shooting the zombies like a sniper on the roof. In a daze, Roger forgets his bag behind, and they have to return to get it. And this time, Roger, he gets attacked and he gets bitten. He's dealing with it, though. He's dealing with it.
And I'm dealing with it, man. I'm just dealing with it. Don't you worry about it.
Back in the hiding place, Fran mends Roger's wounds while Peter and Steven sneak into the gun shop via the ventilation system. The whole gang, fully armed, head to the department store as part of their plan to lock the front entrance from the inside.
See, this is why we need to make things accessible for everyone, even those in wheelbarrows. You never know when there's going to be a zombie apocalypse.
They do encounter a number of setbacks.
You need to have a proper meeting before going on a mission to kill a lot of zombies.
But ultimately, they manage to use a car parked inside the mall to secure the doors, after which they go on a hunt and they eliminate all the zombies who are already inside the mall. Expecting looters to show up at one point, they plan to bring everything they might need to their hiding place before sealing the entrance with a fake wall so that no one can tell that they're actually there, which is honestly a great idea. Meanwhile, Roger is suffering his upcoming zombie sickness, and Fran is suffering her morning sickness. Peter and Steven clean up the living dead who are now dead after they unalive them, and they lock up the bodies they lock up the bodies in the freezer and loot the bank just in case, because maybe when this is all over we might need some money. But yeah, they loot the bank, and then they just go on a massive shopping spree, possibly the best shopping spree in all of their lives, because they do not need to pay for anything.
And they lived happily ever after. Probably nothing else is gonna happen before the end of the movie.
Not gonna lie, this grocery haul looks fantastic from the point of view of 2024. So yeah, maybe we do need another apocalypse. I don't know. I'm just wondering.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
This guy ain't walking anywhere right now. Maybe later.
So here's the thing. When you get bitten by a zombie, you're not gonna be feeling very good for a long time. You're, in fact, gonna feel pretty bad. And our boy Roger is going through it. He's like, hey Peter, my man, my teammate, my buddy, we've been through this together, and I want you to take care of me, but only you have to make sure that I'm actually coming back as the living dead, because after I die, I'm gonna try really hard not to come back. After I die, I'm gonna use my whole willpower and I'm not gonna come back. So you won't need to take care of me unless I come back.
That's definitely gonna work. Cool. It's a plan.
The guys on the TV are discussing the catastrophic situation, and you can see they've also lost it. One guy is like completely chugging it on air. The other guy is saying that they should either feed the zombies or they should drop bombs on really heavily populated areas to eliminate the zombies entirely, which I don't know. Those seem like two drastically different solutions. I don't know. It feels like maybe there should be another way, but I don't know. I'll just let Roger's freshly dead face say everything that's messed up about this situation.
Oh.
Poor Peter takes care of Roger, and they bury him in the jungle mall. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this.
I'm sorry. That's just very sad, but a little funny.
Sometime later, Peter sets the others up with a romantic dinner and goes to drink champagne alone by his friend's grave. Steven asks Fran to marry him, but she decides against it as it wouldn't be real to her. It's just, it's the apocalypse. They continue entertaining themselves with everything in the mall. They just skate, they shoot guns, they do their makeup, they take some photos. They do everything that the mall has to offer, and they're also sprucing up their hiding space. If they're gonna be here for a while, why not make it look nice? It does turn out that being stuck in a mall isn't all that it's cracked up to be.
Do self-help books help during an apocalypse? Or are they mainly geared to a niche of surviving capitalism?
The days keep going on, and nothing really seems to change other than Fran's baby bump. She wants to have a snack. Give me snack. I only had breakfast 2 hours ago. Give me snack.
Imagine you die, and then your body comes back. It's like, I need to get into this H&M or Zara. How embarrassing.
A nomadic motorcycle gang shows up to loot the place, and our main gang's in big trouble. They close as many gates as possible to make things harder for the intruders, but there's so many of them. There's so many that they also take out a bunch of zombies, and they just break into the mall without any problems. Peter figures that the bikers will have their hands full with the zombies that have been surrounding the mall, so they should just wait it out. And Steven's feeling particularly territorial, though. He's just like, this is my mall, my stuff. So he's stupid, and he goes off by himself. It's probably gonna be a great idea. Let's find out. He starts shooting at the bikers, who start shooting back. It's a whole thing again. Peter gets involved. But there's so many zombies here. Can we just appreciate how many extras they put in blue paint and made them roam around? It's just fantastic.
We need to give a shout out to the casting director of this movie, because that's a lot of extras and characters.
But yeah, okay, where were we? Everyone's looting and shooting. Some bikers see Peter going up the ventilation system, but he manages to slip away.
They should have just done the thing where they stay in their room and act like nobody's there when someone rings the doorbell. That's what millennials would have done, I think.
If only Steven had the same luck. He's like hiding, stuck on top of an elevator. He gets shot by one of the bikers, but they've clenched their first for looting, so they start heading out, and as they do, Peter does manage to shoot a couple of them from inside the ventilation system. But yeah, Peter goes to get the wounded Steven from the elevator, but he's a little too late. The zombies get there before him, and Steven just he gets bitten way too many times. It's not good.
And just because he was a dumbass, had to go shoot people.
So Peter heads back to the hiding place where he and Fran wait out the attack. In the morning, Steven's still not back or anything. The zombies are still roaming the mall, which honestly looks pretty normal footage you get in a mall.
This whole section is basically just from the point of view of anyone working in retail. When you open the doors first thing in the morning, they just come striding in. And by they, I mean customers.
Am I wrong? That's just... okay. Anyway, along with all the other zombies, struts a blue-faced Steven, who, I guess through instinct, he leads the other zombies to their hiding spot. Could Steven do anything decent for once? Huh, Steven? What's your problem? Could you just not? Steven?
I love this guy who just keeps holding the gun like that. Just glitched.
Fran tries to convince Peter to leave with her on the helicopter because remember she learned to fly the helicopter before, so they don't even need Steven anymore. But Peter's like, get out of here. I don't want to go. I'm gonna stay here. And he wards off zombie Steven while Fran escapes through the skylight. Peter then contemplates ending his own life, but he reconsiders. I'm not really sure why, but I guess he does, and he heads out to the roof just in time to catch Fran's helicopter, and our last survivors fly off with not that much fuel.
Okay. I'm gonna go make some curry now. Goodbye.
Overall, I really enjoy Dawn of the Dead. It has great flow in editing. I think the existential tension is really well balanced with the banality of surviving a really, really slow and seemingly endless apocalypse. And I think that works very well with the theme of mindless consumerism. And when you're watching this, just reflect what are my consumption habits, and do I sometimes look like these guys who are trying to claw on the doors of this desolate mall? Or maybe in 2024, since the mall experience is no longer as profitable and malls are really slowly dying, then would our zombies return and just start online shopping? How long would it take a zombie to type in their credit card details on a touch screen? Would they get frustrated? Or would they just get stuck on social media and never get to the shopping part? They just continue consuming social media content in order to keep the internet alive after all of us have perished. I guess just tune in next time when I will also ask really important questions and provide no answers. Hey you! Thanks for watching this whole video. If you like what I do, just hit the subscribe button over there. I hope it's there. Hit the subscribe button. YouTube thinks you might like this thing. Otherwise, if you don't, I also worked on this thing, so you can check that out. And yeah, I thanks again for sticking around, and I hope you have fun watching your next movie. See you later. Bye. Hello. Oh, okay.